Welcome everybody here, Brady from BGWX, and I've made plenty of these videos in the past, but they're necessary, especially with such a high-end impact, so try not to get, too hype and down and whatever. We're just gonna call it like what it is and break down what's going on. So first, I'll show you current radar, basically what's going on here, and had tornado outbreak that's been going on here across this area, and this is Radar Scope. So shout out Radar Scope, great app, and we've seen lots of tornado action across this area this evening and even down into Mississippi as well. And now a lot of that convection moving. This is the morning convection we've seen talk about. This is clearing out of the way. Still some scattered because the environment is so primed for thunderstorms. Still seeing some action in some repeat areas actually across just southwest of Tupelo. We've seen a couple of tornado warnings. We saw a damaging tornado there earlier. We've seen many damaging tornadoes across this area today. Very devastating day, but this is just day one, of the tornado outbreak. Day two is this high risk day that comes today. As you can see, 30% hatched. Tornado risk. It is a tornado driven high risk. Those are tend to be some of your most dangerous tornado days. Important cities include Birmingham, Jackson, Tuscaloosa, Hoover, and Hattiesburg that are in the high risk. But I will say, on these high impact days, I would argue anywhere that is in the tornado risk, you could see a strong tornado today. You do not have to be in the 30%. Oftentimes we see strong tornadoes occur outside, really, especially anywhere in that 10% hatched you are in the most favored. So we're talking, other big cities as well. We're talking Nashville, we're talking Atlanta, we're talking Knoxville, Chattanooga, Tallahassee, right? New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Montgomery, Mobile, Columbus, all these big cities here in the South. You are absolutely at play to potentially get strong tornadoes and potentially some repeat offenders from yesterday too, especially across Mississippi, eastern Arkansas, into Tennessee. Can't even rule out maybe Kentucky being able to get into some strong tornadoes as well. So there is definitely a threat here, and I just wanted to go straight away to the SBC because directly tell you and highlight what the threat is. We're talking strong tornadoes, meaning EF2. Those are winds, those are winds well over 100 miles per hour, just to be clear, right? We're talking strong winds when we're talking about strong tornadoes, to put it as bluntly clear as possible. And we'll go to pivotal here so we can show you a little bit what's going on in terms of, because we do need to provide some analysis. This is a BGWX video after all, and we'll just show you the HRR, though it's not my most favorite model, but there's a ton of severe parameters, and we'll get an idea, and we'll kind of, we'll kind of cheat our way to a SIGTOR, to the SIGTOR here, but just so we can kind of get a sounding here and show you how volatile, how dangerous really this environment is for tornadic potentials. This is around 19Z tomorrow, so we'll go and take a Mississippi sounding right there. I mean, and this is contaminated, unfortunately, so we'll go play this another. Maybe can we get an uncontaminated sounding potentially? And we cannot. So contaminated, what that means is, there we go. Okay, typically right where we would look for lift in the atmosphere here, these can kind of contaminate the soundings a little bit and skew them potentially. So when we're looking at that, we want, just the same place we would look for omega in the dendritic, in the dendritic growth zone for snow. We're looking at that as well to make sure it's not too contaminated. So the sounding's a little bit better. And take a look here. I mean, look at the factors. I mean, we're looking at SRH values, meaning helicity values, meaning, just a measure, we look at energy helicity index, a measure of how strong, right? Some of those, that rotating wind shear is basically, to put it simply, it's just a measure of, how strong potentially we're looking at in terms of some of those wind shear values. And then we can see the veering of the winds as well take place in the column. So I'll screenshot this kind of so we can take a look here. And basically the sounding is, suggestive. It's a long wavelength. Oh, we want to use a different color. We'll go with yellow long. Oh, and we want to go a little bit darker ideally. We'll go green. These, why is that not showing up darker? That's fine. We'll go pen. Wow. Oh, there we go. Okay. Boom. These long, wavy photographs here, and this is what we often look at potentially when looking at strong tornadoes. We can see a little bit of elevated mix layer here as well. Oftentimes associated, no, we don't want to. If you're looking for strong tornadoes, oftentimes if you're too saturated, then you're going to allow the storm mode to become a little bit more messy. But what we have here is this is a pretty volatile environment for strong tornadoes and potentially discrete and semi-discrete cells to start forming here in this environment. And I mean, this is a dangerous tornadic environment we are looking at. Here's another. I mean, that is a astonishing, sounding here. We take another look. I mean, even here, take a look. There's even more, backing of the winds at the surface here. You see, look at this changing of the winds across the column. You can see the winds changing, and these are rotating winds across. Imagine this 3D column here in the atmosphere, right? We'll even draw this a little bit bigger. This 3D column, right, from the surface, and the winds are changing direction, and this is what allows that rotation to occur, right? So imagine when you're drawing a tornado, that's literally the rotating winds at different levels of the atmosphere, the changing in wind direction across the atmosphere, and strong wind profiles. You can see those wind barbs here, especially all the way down to the surface in the long, lengthy photograph. Is suggestive for strong, violent tornadoes. This is the potential for more than several. We could be talking there even maybe a dozen plus. Like, it's hard to quantify exactly how many, but this is an environment suggestive for strong, violent tornadoes. And I don't really like showing these because I feel like they can kind of skew it, but obviously what you can see here is, there's a lot of discrete to semi-discrete supercells that's being shown on models here. And it's an open, warm sector, and potentially the ability for strong, violent tornadoes to form. Even if we don't get complete discrete cells and they're semi-discrete, they will be more than supportive to be able to produce long, violent tornadoes. And we talked about those areas that are most at risk, coming up here, and this will persist into the nighttime. So we will have to keep an eye, especially we're looking at that Atlanta metro area. I can remember, I forget what year was it, 2020, I think. It was towards the ends of the night, the outbreak, and it looked like it was about done. And we saw the Noonan EF4 tornado take place, and I remember tracking that one live, and you could see the debris ball, and I was devastating to see. So a lot of times these high powered outbreaks into the nighttime, you're oftentimes not done quite yet. So again, just to take a look at the soundings and how volatile, maybe not even the right word to use there, just deadly environment for tornadoes is. If people, if you live in a mobile home or know people live in a mobile home, especially really anywhere within the yellow or orange you see here on the screen, I would recommend sharing with them that they should have a plan in place to evacuate from mobile homes, because these are the kind of tornadoes that will level those completely. So I really recommend that you have a plan in place to be able to execute for safety. If you have family, let them know, because this is going to be a very memorable day, likely. So I really want to advise. I really just want to send my best wishes to people down there dealing with this. I will be in the air tomorrow, so unfortunately I will not be able to track this maybe too much, but I will try my best to. We did some tracking tonight, but we'll try to do some more tomorrow. So I appreciate everybody tuning in, and without further ado, till next time, peace.